Hello, everybody. It's time for round 3 of the double Mirrodin rotisserie draft, and we've got our first match of this round. This is Hunter with 2-0 with Black Green Pod against Yuuki, 0-2 with his Proliferate combo. Obviously, big match for both players. Looks like I got the names backwards. We're gonna move that in just a second. And I believe that Yuuki has won the die roll. Hunter has mulliganed to 5. Looked away for a second, looked up, and he had a 5-card hand. So, Yuuki hoping to get on the board. This is potentially a good way to do that. Hunter does have plays. He's got all artifacts, and he can cast Cathodian or Moriok Replica, though he can't activate it. This is going to be a turn 2 grind clock from Yuuki. And Yuuki changed his deck a bit. He's added Contagion Clasp and Inexorable Tide, among a couple other things that will allow him to proliferate. He's going to put a counter on Grind Clock. He draws a Lux Cannon. She can cast with one more land. I expect we'll see a Power Conduit this turn, since Contagion Clasp has no target. Alright, so here is Power Conduit. That's going to give Yuuki the opportunity to move charge counters around, or to turn charge counters into +1/+1 counters. Here's Cathodian. Hunter actually has an interesting play next turn. If he wants to, it's pretty risky, but he could actually dismember his Cathodian to basically go up 2 mana, pay 1 mana, kill this, make 3 mana, and then go 4 or 5, cast the Precursor Golem, and hope that gets the job done. I'm not convinced that's a wise play in the abstract, given that if it doesn't work out, he's basically got nothing left and no black mana still. So it would be a pretty aggressive line. And we know that, right, he draws the swamp. I would say we know that Yuuki doesn't have a way to actually deal with that. Sometimes when you mull to 5, though, times get desperate. Although now with the 5th land, there's no way he's going to do that. He's just going to cast the Golem next turn, I think. This Cathodian is going to get in for 3. Cast a Moriok Replica. A 2/2, you can sack to cast Night's Whisper. Counter on Lux Cannon. He draws Clock of Omens. Tap 2 artifacts to tap 1 artifact. Seems like a bad deal, but it's really better than it looks. Also has Lux Cannon at the ready. If he puts counter on Grind Clock, then uses Power Conduit to put a counter on Lux Cannon. That's also an option. So he's going to Contagion Clasp. Yeah, targeting the Cathodian makes sense. If he targets a Moriok Replica, it's going to become a 1/1, and Hunter's probably just going to sack it and draw 2 cards. So this way he can start to wear down things here. I think the game's basically going to come down to this Precursor Golem, because these other cards don't seem super relevant. So Cathodian now at 2/2. Hunter putting a counter on Grind Clock and moving it to Lux Cannon. He's going to use Lux Cannon and kill the swamp. That's aggressive. Destroy target permanent. Their top deck's the swamp. I like that aggressive line, but people making bold plays. But yeah, might have been safer just to kill the replica or just kill nothing. This is an attack for 4. It says me in Hunter. So Hunter's going to cash in his Morak Replica and draw 2 cards. And say you can't cast a precursor this turn. Draws 2 more forests. Hunter playing 8 forests, 8 swamp in this Birthing Pod deck, and he has drawn so many more forests than swamps so far in this tournament. Like it's not even close, really. Alright, so 5th land. Does not have double blue to cast Inexorable Tide. Can cast a Mirror Turbine. He can proliferate, but let's see. So he proliferates, he taps his Lux Cannon, he proliferates, his counter on Grind Clock, second counter on Lux Cannon, second counter on Cathodian. That doesn't sound bad. It's either that or make a 1/1. Oh, he's casting Clock of Omens instead. Okay. I didn't consider that option, but it makes sense. He's got plenty of things he could tap. Like, this taps itself, so you really only need one other untapped artifact. So you can just use the Clasp this turn, because he's not going to be tapping it. If he wants to tap the Cathodian. Glissa the Trader, that's pretty good. It's also castable, but so is this Precursor Golem, so I'm not sure. Hunter may just lead. He may cast Glissa. This doesn't matter, because the clock can't tap Glissa, and it can only tap one of the 3 golems. Alright, Cathodian attacks for 2. Yuuki drops to 11. Alright, Hunter has to make a decision. Usually it makes sense to basically like go through all your threats and then cast a Precursor Golem. But in this case, the Precursor Golem actually gives him lethal, so as he goes from 2 to 11 power. So this is going to force Yuuki to do something. And, alright, end of turn. Tap everything. So now we got 3 counters on Lux Cannon. How did that happen? Let's see. Oh, untap target artifact. See, I can't even read. I thought this was tap target artifact. So that means he tapped the Lux Cannon, use a power conduit, remove the counter from the Grind Clock, and then use the Clock of Omens to untap the Lux Cannon. Spawning Pit seems irrelevant here. Kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. It looks like... So he can Lux Cannon down something. So he can kill like a Golem token. And then he could cast a mirror. He can untap the Mirror Turbine, so he can make 2 blockers. That's not awful. Spawning Pit doesn't seem good here. Alright, he's moving a counter from Grind Clock. Wait, on a power conduit? Proliferate. It's going to -1 the Cathodian. Okay. So I think, let's see. Cathodian's a 1/1. I think his plan is to Lux Cannon down a Golem. And then Clock of Omens. I guess lets him get another counter. Alright. Lux Cannon. I think he has to... Yeah, okay. He's got to kill one golem, and if he can get like the double mirror turbine thing going, he might have a shot to make enough chump blocks. And you can also use the mirrors with the clock. Our Lux Cannon kills a golem, so he's going to take 7 going to 4. I don't know how he only took 4 going to 7. It seems like a misclick. There we go. Hunter's going to cast Glissa. Alright, so end of turn, he's going to untap Lux Cannon, put a counter on Lux Cannon. I think he has to get this Mirror Turbine out. Draws an island. It's a little late. This Inexorable Tide's not going to... He's too far behind to cast it. He can't cast Turbine and the Spawning Pit. Yeah, so I think he just has to cast Mirror Turbine. And then... 5 mana, Mirror Turbine. He can clock plus Contagion Class to untap the Mirror Turbine. So that's 2 blockers. And then he can use the Lux Cannon to kill something, and then go to 1. Like he could block Cathodian, chump block a golem, and then kill a golem or kill Glissa. I think he kills Glissa. Because if he kills anything else, then Moriok Replica comes back to Hunter's hand. Five mana, here's the Mirror Turbine. Alright, Power Conduit. It's going to put a counter on Lux Cannon. Lux Cannon's going to shoot Glissa, I presume. He's putting another counter on Lux Cannon? So you need to Mirror Turbine twice. How's he going to survive now? So you can kill Glissa. Yeah, he's taking 4. Yeah, I think this is a punt. Turns out it wouldn't matter because Hunter could just dismember one of the mirrors anyway. But I'm pretty sure this is just straight up a misplay. And yeah, I think he reached the same conclusion. Hunter goes up 1-0. Looking to get to 3-0 with Black-Green Birthing Pod. Reminding us why Birthing Pod got banned in Modern. Without actually drawing Birthing Pod. Hunter has not actually drawn very many Birthing Pods, by the way. His deck still seems to be pretty functional without it, which seems like it would be the big concern going in. Real quick, here's the standings. You can see Hunter is tied with me at 2-0. Yuuki down at the bottom. So this is a pretty important match. If Yuuki wins, he kind of bring the pack closer together. Hunter wins, he starts the, and especially if I can win also against Scott, it's gonna, which is the match after this, we could really distance ourselves from most of the field. Here's Yuki's deck list. He's made several changes. He added Memnarch and Vidalcan Infuser, along with the Clock of Omens, which we saw, the Inexorable Tide, which unfortunately was a bit too slow, and the Contagion Clasp when he cut some of the mirrors. He's got a whole mirror contingent in the sideboard, and Worm Coil, and a couple other things. He might be looking at like Indomitable Archangel to give this stuff. Shroud. Maybe the Shrine of Loyal Legions makes a lot of blockers. It might be too slow. Hunter's deck here. He's running back the same thing. He cut the Guardian Idol for a Glissa's Scorn. Otherwise, everything's the same as in the first 2 rounds. But we give everyone a chance to change their deck lists between round 2 and 3, and then between round 4 and 5. Yeah, Hunter he's probably just want more artifact removal. Maybe Brutalizer Exarch is expensive, but could put an artifact on the bottom of Yuki's library. It doesn't seem bad. I forgot to change the Glissa Scorn in the sideboard to a Guardian Idol. So that's why that Glissa Scorn in the sideboard is Guardian Idol. I don't think he wants it here anyway. Rebuking Ceremonies also seems quite good. So probably more removal for Hunter. And we're ready for game 2. Yuuki is on the play. He has 3 lands, Clearwater Goblet, Lux Cannon, Pentavis came in from the board, and a Core Tapper, which I think this hand is acceptable. Hunter's hand doesn't have any pressure, but he could possibly Praetor's Grasp for something, and I drew a Solemn. So his hand's a little slow, but it's certainly functional. Neither player has a whole lot going on. Oh, Yuuki actually boarded in Tempered Steel, so he might have a maybe boarded in the Shrine of Loyal Legions, or he has some kind of sideboard plan going on here. I guess we're going to see Core Tapper. Very aptly named card. You tap it and you get a counter. So I don't think Hunter will hit it with Glissa Scorn, at the very least not until something that benefits from getting counters placed on it. Oh, and there's Memnarch. So this is got a lot of... Yuki's accepted the 7-drop challenge here. He's going to need land before he can do anything. He's going to attack for 1. His only other option really would be to tap to put a counter on itself, which is a legal play, but doesn't do anything. Sylvok Explorer would have been better on turn 2, but I think Hunter's still happy to have that here. We'll help him accelerate out some of his threats. It can tap for... So this is... what's that card called? Exotic Orchard on a creature. Or really, I guess you could say Exotic Orchard is Sylvok Explorer on a land, because this card definitely came first. So it makes mana that the opponent could make. So Yuuki has red, green, and white right now, so this could basically taps for green. But so we're going to see Praetor's Grasp. So we're going to get to see how Yuuki sideboarded. Island, that was interesting. You can steal a land with Praetor's Grasp, but it doesn't seem necessary considering Hunter has 3 lands in play and 2 more in hand. Alright, here's the deck. Yeah, so we do see the Shrine of Loyal Legions combo as well with the Tempered Steel. Nothing else too crazy. Well, that's what Hunter goes for here. I feel like, especially with the Worm Coil out of the deck now, I feel like Yuki's deck is pretty immune to like stealing things from it. The whole deck is very synergy driven. Hunter could like prototype portal a Solemn, maybe. That doesn't sound awful. And draw cards, get lots of land. I don't see much else. Yeah, I might go for that. I guess he could take the Shrine. But he doesn't play any white spells, so that's going to just get 1 counter a turn. He could just take, like, Sphere of the Suns or something that makes mana. Oh yeah, Hunter's still looking at the library, trying to figure out this decision. Alright. Looks like he did take the prototype portal. It's supposed to be exiled face down, but it's very hard to do that on cockatrice. I'm not sure if there's actually a way to do that. It's apparently number 59, in case you're wondering. I'm not sure why. That's what it says. Alright, so yeah, we hit the second plane, so that's a big draw. So you now cast Lux Cannon or Tempered Steel. It's going to be Tempered Steel, and Core Tapper is going to get in for 3. So Hunter could just, I think he's just going to cast the Prototype Portal. Yep, exile SoM. That's going to be make it very hard for Yuuki to win on the ground. Although he can also just shoot it right now with Lux Cannon if he wants to sack his Core Tapper. He can also Clearwater Goblet for 3, which isn't bad. He didn't attack. That's weird. So if he didn't attack, I assume that means, I guess he's going to put a counter on the Lux Cannon with the Core Tapper, but he doesn't think it's important enough to kill the Prototype Portal. So that's pretty interesting. He may think he's just going to settle in for the long game. Like, he has a Clearwater Goblet, and he has 2 7-drops, so he might just be saying, nope, I can, I don't care about these 2/2s. Alright, so end of turn. So Hunter's just passing. He's going to make it solemn, or cast Glissa's Scorn, I guess. So 2 counters on Lux Cannon, 1 from Lux Cannon, 1 from Core Tapper. So now Yuuki, during the upkeep, Glissa's Scorn, Lux Cannon. Well, this, I think Yuuki, he didn't. Wow. Draws an island. It's good for Memnar. Maybe he's just planning to steal the Prototype Portal. So Yuuki could have tapped Lux Cannon, or sorry, could have tapped Core Tapper to get 3 counters Lux Cannon, then use Lux Cannon to shoot Prototype Portal. And here's a 4 counter Goblet. And an attack for 3. Hunter draws Bleak Coven Vampires, which seems pretty terrible right now. That basically trades with any artifact creature. He also is not close to Metalcraft right now. Hunter could just cast a Masker Worm to make a 6/5. Like, he doesn't get anything out of the card's abilities, though. He could cast Sylvok Explorer and make a solid minute. Here is a 6 mana 6/5. Sometimes it's gotta play your cards. Alright, so Yuki's gonna gain 4 life on his upkeep. He goes to 23, draws a Power Conduit. That card normally good, but he probably would have rather had a land here. Because he wants to get C7 drops down. It's a pretty interesting game. We've also seen the prototype portal not do anything, even though it's been in play for a couple of turns, so maybe I wonder if Yuuki is actually right in not blowing it up. Prototype portal, not the best portal. The best portal, obviously, is Coercive Portal, which sees some play in vintage workshop decks, so only the second best portal, or possibly even worse, I may be forgetting about another portal. Alright, here's Power Conduit. And just a pass. Guess Verdict is fine, I guess. It doesn't do much, it just kills a core tapper. I guess it does do 3 damage instead of 1, thanks to Masker Worm. I wonder if he's just going to cast Bleak Heaven Vampires and just start beating down. Sylvok Explorer. Maybe he's just going to leave up the portal this time. Here comes Masker Worm. Yuuki's going to not care. He's going to take 6. He's going to core tapper the Goblet and gain 5. So this clock is ineffective, I would say, right now. And is it a land? Upkeep, gain 5, go to 22. Shrine of Loyal Legions. That's not a land, but that is good. That is pretty dangerous with Tempered Steel. And if this Pentavis ever gets going, it's just going to be 3/3 Pentavis flyers like this. I'm pretty sure Yuki's in great position here. Alright, so I guess Hunter's going to Solemn. The Phyrexia's core is pretty good with Solemn. And like infinite Solemns. You can just sack it to gain a life and draw a card. I think that's pretty sweet. Yeah, this game's far from over. I just think that Loyal Legions is going to grow pretty quickly. And to draws Viridian Emissary. It's not really what he wanted here. Alright. Masker Worm's going to get in for 6. And Hunter maybe going to cast Emissary. Oh, he's going to make a Solemn in his main phase, and then he's going to cast Bleak Heaven Vampires for the trigger. If Yuuki draws a land, I wonder if he actually casts Memnarch instead, just because he needs to steal that portal, but it's probably still going to be Pentavis, I think. So you can just make a ton of flyers. So he gets her counter on the Goblet instead of the Shrine. Now he's going to get a counter on the Shrine. Oh, so he's just going all in on the Goblet. Interesting. Okay. He's gaining 7. We saw this in a game in round 1, and it didn't quite work out. Like, he ran out of time. Like, oh, there's the 7th land, though. If you know 7th land is on top, this is a pretty good play. This is a pretty quick clock. So he's going to cast Pentavis. It's a 7/7. So it's a 2/2 with 5 +1/+1 counters. 2/2 because of Tempered Steel. So he can make 5 3/3 flyers. So that's a pretty fast clock, I would say. Hunter not really going to get anywhere with his verdict either. Oh, he could even put counters on to Pentavis. So this is probably just a one-turn clock. Because he can use Core Tapper and Core Tapper and Power Conduit. He could just make 7 3/3 flyers and win. I assume that is where this is going. Hunter drew a forest. Better distribution this game, but still more forest than swamps. Well, that's actually we don't know because he solemned out a couple of them. Hunter might just need a Phyrexia's Core to draw a card. That's what he's going to do. Gain a life, draw a card. Need something. Swamp. Is Pentavis Tempered Steel going to get there? Not sure what it looks like. So Yuuki can get a counter from Core Tapper, counter from Power Conduit. So you just say like, oh, he can use a counter from the Shrine. Yeah. So he can definitely get to 7 tokens, 7 Pentavites next turn. And yeah, Hunter's probably going to need some removal. I don't know. He's going to need something pretty good here. Alright, so he puts a counter on Clearwater Goblet. He's going to gain 8 life, put a counter on Shrine. And this still allows him to use Core Tapper and Power Conduit to get to 7 counters. Oh, I'm missing something. Okay. Pentavis has +1/+1 counters. It does not have charge counters. So Core Tapper does not actually put counters on the Pentavis. So Power Conduit will, though. And so Hunter, I think, will be able to survive then, because he could use Phyrexia's Core to go up to 19. And the way this played out, Yuuki can only make 6 3/3 flyers. But then the Energy Chamber can make the last counter. Because this does put +1/+1 counters. Copper Mirror, probably not what he was hoping for there. Hunter sacks the Solemn, draws a Swamp. Cast a Copper Mirror. So I believe, excuse me, I believe Yuuki just has lethal, like, kill on board. I guess he has to worry about a removal spell, but he really doesn't even have to worry about a removal spell. Like, he's not, he's going to be at 30-something life. Oh, I did miss that Yuuki had to tap 2 mana to cast the Energy Chamber. So he actually only has 5 mana up and can only make 5 tokens. So he's not going to win this turn, but I think he's still going to win this game quite easily. He also is probably safer doing it this way because just keeping the Penibus around with one counter, or with one mana up, I mean, he can sack some. Like if his Penobites start to die, he can put him back on Penibus, which is kind of the beauty of this card. He only made one token. Interesting. He is gaining 9 life. Alright, so he puts a counter on Penibus with the Energy Chamber. Gets a counter on Shrine of Loyal Legions. And gains a 9 lives. He's at 36. Draws an island. I could tempt him into casting Memnarch, but I doubt it. Alright, attack for 3 in the air. I think, given that he couldn't win, I think I actually like this play of just making the 1 token. So you can play around, like, I don't know, some kind of -3/-3 effect or something. I don't know if Hunter has anything like that. Yeah, like a Black Sun Zenith or something. But although we know that that's in Scott's deck, so I expect that this time we'll see lots of flyers and the game will end. Hunter's Phyrexian Core SoM engine has not actually been producing much. Drawn a lot of mana sources and 2 mana creatures and stuff. Man, yesterday was a rough day in sports. I have the Sports Center on in the background. The U.S. men's national team lost to Guatemala. Nothing against Guatemala personally, but like, I don't know, our population's a lot bigger. It seems like we should be able to beat them. And the South Carolina women's basketball team was upset in the Sweet 16. So basically I have nothing to look forward to now until baseball starts. So sad. Okay, so here's a Perilous Mirror, end step, core tapper, counter. Please make some Penobites so we can go to game 3. Removes a counter from Shrine, puts it on Penibus, and doesn't do anything. Yuuki, what are you doing? Just win. Yeah, we've got a 10/10 Penibus. I think he just wants to gain a lot of life or something. Also, why didn't he play his land? I don't know how he could lose this game, but alright, attacking for 3. I mean, he's basically only dealing 2 damage a turn, because like the Phyrexia's Core is gaining him a life. End step, Prototype Portal. To make a SoM. Get a land. What does Hunter have that can get him out of this? Sword of Body and Mind, maybe? If you can get an evasive creature with a sword, that's a way to win. I don't see much else. Maybe Carnifex Demon. Yeah, I don't know. Well, he drew a Birthing Pod. So if he wants a Carnifex Demon, he can go get it. The hardest part about doing solo commentary is like filling the dead time, because when you're doing commentary with someone else, you can just talk to them, and you can, I don't know, talk about life or something outside of Magic for a little while. But talking to myself is like, I don't know, feels more awkward. So he's gonna sack, yeah, okay, become vampires. Here's a Carnifex Demon. So he can get -1/-1 counters on everything. See, that's pretty good. So now he can not die to the Penavite army. I think the way Hunter can win is if he can kill Tempered Steel, which he probably has some way to do that, I would think. If he boarded in the Sylvok Replica or Brutalizer Exarch, yeah, he's definitely got answers in his the totality of his card pool. Tell Jalad Chosen, that has protection from artifacts. I don't think that's actually away from the win, considering that Yuuki's at like infinite life. This board state is absurd. So Yuuki cannot attack for damage. What's he paying 5 mana for? Now he's making all the flyers when it's not going to win. I don't understand this game. So now Carnifex Demon can make them all 1/1s. Although, to be fair, they could just get sacked back to Penavus anyway. Since this isn't like particularly risky. He's also at basically at infinite life. I still don't see how Yuuki could, could lose this game. It just seems like he could have won it a lot faster. Okay, so now a conversion chamber of the draw. I don't think a bunch of free 3 or even 5/5 golems is going to do anything with this enormous ground force. No artifacts in the graveyard for Ghost City. That's a bitch. Even if I was thinking like maybe there could be some Perilous Mirror shenanigans. I don't see it. Conversion chamber. I guess he should just ram all these 3/3 flyers. Like, Hunter has to use the Carnifex Demon, basically. So it's -1/-1 counter on all creatures. Each other creature. Okay, so this is not as good as I thought it was. So it's going to kill a lot of his 1 toughness creatures if he activates the Carnifex Demon. So he would kill Tel'Jala Chosen, Perilous Mirror, Copper Mirror, Viridian Emissary, and Sylvok Explorer. So you kill 5 of his own guys. Yeah, I was thinking that this only put counters on their creatures, but it's each other creature. This card was so good in Limited, though. You could even proliferate more -1/-1 counters onto it to, like, actually wrap them. Alright, so here's Carnifex Demon activation. It's probably take like, I don't know, 5 minutes to actually resolve all this stuff that's about to happen. The Pentavis just loses a +1/+1 counter. Now all these things are 2/2s. And lots of stuff's gonna die. He does get a Perilous Mirror trigger. He's gonna kill Core Tapper. I assume it will get sacrificed, tapped, and then sacrificed in response. Yeah, Core Tapper has made it a lot of turns here. We're on, I don't even know what turn we're on. We're on turn a lot. And so Viridian Emissary triggers also, so Hunter will get yet another land that he doesn't need. I'm tired, in case anyone hasn't noticed. This is an exhausting game to commentate solo. It looks like he used both counters from Carnifex. This is going to lead to a block and only dealing 5 damage. Because, yeah. So much rage. There's also some really loud bird that's like chirping right outside my window right now. I don't know if you can hear that or not. It's pretty distracting though. And so we're still in the declare attacker step, which we have been for a while. Match is getting close to an hour. I'm supposed to play Scott at 11. The match may not be done by then. There was also a Massacre Worm trigger when Core Tapper died and when Pentavis died. So Yuki's going to go down to 52. Glissa triggers triggers twice, returning Perilous Mirror and Copper Mirror. Alright, we made it through combat. So Hunter's down to 10. At the end of combat step, here's a SoM. It's an interesting time to do that. Hunter like barely has any lands left. So he has all of his lands in play. 6, 7, 10, 13, 16. He's got 1 land left. It's 9, 10. Yeah, 1 land left in his library. Oh no, it's in his hand. There, the forest in his hand. So he's gonna draw a spell right here. Phyrexian Rager. I guess that'll make him draw another spell. I just don't see how he's gonna win. How does he win? Like, he can't even attack with the sword. Like, he can draw a sword, put it on Carnifex Demon, attack. Yuki makes a Penavite, blocks, and then sacks it before damage. So, like, I don't see how Hunter wins this game. I think Yuki gave him some extra time. And he's even got Birthing Pod in play. Like, what does he go get with Birthing Pod? I feel like Hunter may just scoop at some point because he has no way to win. He has to decide like if he's just gonna make more Pentavites or if he's gonna sack some of the weakened ones and then try to reset them. All right, here's Perilous Mirror. I mean, Hunter should just cast every card in his hand. Why not? He also can make a 5/5 golem with conversion chamber, although that doesn't seem super relevant here. It seems all about the flyers. You could also try to like play Memnarch and steal the demon next turn, but that seems like way too much work. If you're still watching this, like, congrats, good for you. Like, I would have skipped ahead to the next game by now if I were watching the Super League or something. I don't even know what's going on. Birthing Pod is activated. Mirrodin, or something got sacked. I don't even know what got sacked. Sorry, I'm not even paying attention anymore. I guess it was a 2-drop. I must have the Perilous Mirror. Because 2 damage got dealt. Alright. Oh, there's Mirrodin Shaman. There goes Penimus. Alright, so we've got... That was the plan. I think this isn't good enough, though. I think Yuki's just going to make 4 Petabytes and still win. He could even use the last 2 mana to like sack one of the 1/1s and make it a 3/3 if he wants to. But he doesn't. I guess he's going to make a golem. It should be a Massacre Worm trigger for Penimus dying. Yeah. Seems pretty trivial, but it's a good practice to catch all your triggers. Alright, he's sacking Solemn and Phyrexia's Core. He still has like this draw and another redraw with the Rager, so Cathodian's not what he wants. Oh, the card did do work last game. Last game was so long ago. It was so long ago. Alright, so Geth's Verdict will kill one of the 1/1s. And then Card Effects Demon will kill one of the 3/3s. But that's still 9 to 11, 12 damage. Geth's Verdict can kill one, yeah. And that's exactly 11, actually. Although Energy Chamber gets a counter in it on something anyway. Yeah, Phyrexian Rager. Cast it. You have to. You can't do anything else. Oh, this game. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I didn't do it. What am I missing? Alright, so he's making a golem. So we got a 5/5 golem that is basically irrelevant because Glissa still has first strike and death touch even though she's a 1/1. Upkeep. Counter. Gain 11. Make a +1/+1 counter on, I guess, one of the 1/1s. Makes the most sense. The golem is insurance against Geth's Verdict. Alright, Power Conduit activation. puts a counter on a Pentavite. Makes it a 2/2. Draws a Clock of Omens, which doesn't seem to be relevant. Attack with everything. Please attack with everything. This game. This game should have been over so long ago. Alright, I think we did it. It's only one flying blocker. Gets Verdict. He's gonna sack a Golem. He sacked a Pentavite. Come on, Yuuki, what are you doing? That's still enough, I think. Hooray! Game's over. I think I'm just like got hangry in the midst of that game or something. That was pretty crazy. So it took way longer than it should have. But Yuuki wins game 2. And I'm just going to put the deck on the screen for a minute and get a drink of water because I'm exhausted. That was crazy. All right, here we go. Hunter mulligan to 6. He's got a Silvac replica, which he probably boarded in, and a SoM. Yuki's got Vidalcan Engineer. That card's powerful. A lot of stuff that doesn't deal with a Precursor Golem. There's a Grind Clock. All right, so as well, Vidalcan Engineer sticks. That's a pretty big game. Hunter is going to have a pretty good curve here. So he's got Silvac, next turn SoM, get a land, definitely a Precursor. If he gets a land in the next 2 draw steps, he can cast Carnifex Demon as well. Leona and Abunis. Can't cast that yet. So you can cast Energy Chamber. You can cast Conversion Chamber and either Energy Chamber or Grind Clock, or just cast, or you can do nothing. What did I miss? He wants to cast the Leona and Abunis before casting his artifact so that they don't die to Silvac Replica. I assumed he would just like try to power through the Silvac Replica. But Thrun the Last Troll, that's a good card. Oh, except he drew 2 cards to a turn, so he drew Phyrexia's Core. Get in there. The beats for 1. Here's a SoM and a Swamp, presumably. See, it has triple black. Alright, so now, okay. This could have worked out better. So Yuuki now is going to cast Leona to Buddhist and can cast any of his 2-drop artifacts. Or he can not use Vidalcan Engineer. I'm so confused. It's a sword. The sword on Carnifex Demon could end this quickly. And there's land number 5. So you could cast Memnarch. There it is. Hunter probably now not going to cast the sword, actually. I would guess, anyway. Then it just going to get stolen. This does not seem great. Although if he kills the Vidalcan Engineer with the card effects demon, Yuuki does not have enough lands to steal the sword and re-equip it. I'm not sure if Yuuki hasn't missed a land drop yet, though, so and still has 4 cards in hand. This is an interesting game. Getting the Carnifex Demon down before Precursor Golem, definitely good. That's kind of a nombo. The other way around. Hunter debating his options. Not being able to target the artifact stolen by Memnarch because of Leona and Abunis is that is a pretty big concern. He could even steal the Sylvok replica and then sack it to kill an artifact on the other side. Alright, so Carnifex Demon is activated once. We pretty much expected that, so it's going to kill the Vidalcan Engineer. Make Sylvok replica 0-2, Solemn a 1-1. Carnifex 5-5, Memnarch a 3-4, Leona and Abunis a 1-4. Everybody getting shrunk. Alright, so he's not going for the sword, which I think makes sense. It's just a big flyer. Like, he could just win with his giant flyer. Yuuki does not have double blue. I mean, now he's in cast the golem. Yuuki doesn't have double blue to turn things into artifacts anyway, so... Clearwater Goblet might be too late. So what could Yuuki do here? He can cast Clearwater Goblet. He casts the other cards in his hand, but I don't think they really do anything. Right now he can block 2 golems. So he's taking 5 from the demon, 3 from a golem. So he would take 9 and then gain 5 going to 4. So if nothing happened, he'd actually only take 4 damage and kill 1 golem. That's not the worst. He could steal Sylvok replica, leaving up a green to sacrifice it. He could then block 2 golems. And then I guess like block the Solemn and then sack before damage to kill the 3rd golem. Or even sack it in a turn because it's an 0-2. I don't hate that. He could just steal Precursor Golem. Like, that's an option also. Although Hunter has now seen that he does not have the 6th land. So it may actually be time to go in on the sword next turn. Alright. Looks like a Memnarch activation. He takes a regular golem. I think I would have taken Precursor Golem because now if Hunter draws a Dismember, he can just dismember the Golem token. Whereas like if you take the Precursor Golem, if he wants to do that, he kills both of his own Golems. Emissary of Despair. That card is good in this matchup. Would have been it's completely nuts if he could have gotten it through last game. Really just like any creature with flying is good right now. Alright, so he attacks with SoM and Carnifex Demon. Leona Nabunas is going to block. Hunter probably happy to draw a card. Draws Praetor's Grasp. Interesting he left it in, even though it like didn't have a ton of great things to hit last game. I think if Hunter casts Emissary of Despair here, he just wins. Oh, Yuuki would have to top deck. That is an argument for playing the Goblet last turn instead of stealing the Golem, although he did prevent more. I think he prevented more damage this turn, but he's just kind of a like he just has no defense against flyers. Island. I think he is just dead. He's got 2 artifacts. So Emissary attacks for 4, Carnifex for 5. Yeah, I think there's nothing you can do. Flying's still really good. 23 years later, flying's still good. Yuuki trying to way through his options. I think he just should have dumped all these artifacts that are in his hand. The Conversion Chamber, Energy Chamber, Grind Clock, like that was all in his hand at the beginning. And even though like one of them probably would have died to the replica, like I think he should have just used those Vidalcan Engineer activations he missed and just dumped things into play, as he just felt too far behind on board. So he's casting and activating Conversion Chamber. Wait, what? Oh, he's tagging with everything. I was like, yeah, this looks like a desperate attack here. Golems are gonna trade. Yeah, this game's over. Pretty smart play by Hunter to not play the sword. Yuuki just didn't need to do it. And, yeah, that's it. Well, some interesting games. Hunter takes the match 2-1. And he moves to 3-0. Yuuki in big trouble at 0-3. Tough to get out of that. I'm not sure if there's a call. I'm maybe too scatterbrained interview. Alright, I'm going to stop the recording. I think we need to get on to the next match. There's a time constraints. I think there aren't going to be any interviews this time. If there are, I'll add them to the end of the video. And see you next time. If you made it to the end of the video, congratulations. I barely made it to the end of the video, and I'm casting it. So hopefully we'll have some more interesting Roto matches in the future, possibly with, maybe not as many board stalls. Yeah, for like 3 consecutive turns.
Was it 3 consecutive turns?
Maybe not that many. I don't know.
No, I know there's at least 1 turn for certain.
It seemed like you needed to make more flyers.
Yeah, I know with the Pintavites, I realized like 1 turn too late because he got an answer before it, like afterwards. But I realized 1 turn too late that I could have just won the game on the previous one.
Yeah.
And 2 turns before that, I didn't have the ability to just win the next round, and I wanted to play safe against this Crown Effects Demon.
Right. So, yeah, I have trouble remembering what happened. So in the third game, like, I know that Yuuki, you were like waiting to cast artifacts until you had the Shroud guy down.
It ended up being a play mistake because at first I was like, okay, well, I'll just play the artifacts anyways, and I'll force him to blow his Silvok replica to kill something.
Yeah.
And then ended up delaying myself like 2 to 3 turns because as I was thinking that, my next draw was leaning Avanos, and I was like, oh, perfect, I can get hexproof. And that ended up being counterproductive because then I ended up doing nothing for 2 or 3 turns.
Yeah, like just missing out on the mana from the Budalkan Engineer seemed really, really rough.
Yeah. If I was telling Hunter, like if I went first, then I would have been able to just take a Chronofax Demon before he killed my guy.
Yeah.
But since he went first, he was able to kill my engineer before I could take it. So that ended up being super game changing, just going first.
What that last turn where you stole the golem, I was trying to like run. It seemed like you had a lot of options that were all like only marginally good. I don't know if you like had any thoughts on like why you picked that one, like because you could have stole the replica or you could have cast the goblet. Like I don't think any of them would have won you the game, but it was interesting to try to figure out what was the best line.
I was thinking about stealing the replica, but then I was like, I can destroy one of the golems, but it's only destroying one of the golems. Then he still has the 2 golems left over and his demon to swing at me. Then I was thinking, okay, I can play Clearwater Goblet. That would heal me 4 health after he swings at me with 3 golems and a Carnifex Demon. I think I had Energy Chamber as a potential option, but I don't think I had anything. I don't think SoM Sokron was in the graveyard at that time, or if he was, it didn't register.
Yeah.
But that was still 3 golems to attack me and a Carnifex Demon versus. So I was just sitting there thinking, I was like, okay, I take away 3 power and I can block another 3/3. I think that nets me like the biggest save of life. Was the train of thought that I was mapping out there.
Yeah, it was pretty tough at that point. Now, Hunter, was did you like have an actual plan to win game 2, or were you just like trying to survive and hoping something magical would happen?
Cards left.
Yeah, no, I don't think I had much after he untapped with Pentabus.
Yeah,
I don't think I had any. I don't really have outs from there.
So you didn't have Silvok Replica in your deck game 2?
No, I decided I want to be a little more aggro. But then after Tempered Steel just destroyed me, I figured I should have a way to kill engineers.
That makes sense. Because I was thinking, because like you could have like sort of Body and Mind wasn't ever getting through because like he could just block with Pentavites and sack them or whatever.
Yeah.
And you were gonna obviously mill first, and then he was at like infinite life. So,
with missed triggers out, so it's 60.
Yeah. So yeah, because like it seemed like if you could kill a Tempered Steel and then Carnifex Demon, you could win. But that was the only thing I was seeing, and it like wasn't even like once you were like potting into other things, I was like, okay, I guess that's not there.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I just didn't want to scoop in the middle of a game, I guess.
Yeah. What does anyone remember what happened in game 1? I kind of I legitimately forgot. Like I don't even know. I think Hunter mulled a 5 and still won or something.
I think he mulled a 6. He mulled a 6.
No, I think I mulled the 5.
Did you mull the 5? Oh, yeah, that's right. Because I played the planes by accident before you actually went.
Yeah.
How did I die? That was the one where I was sitting there with Contagion Clasp, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was the Lux Cannon. What were you doing that was killing me?
I think Precursor Golem got there.
Yeah, I think it was just I just think I was unable to stabilize. I think that's what it ended up being.
Yeah.
I think my stuff just ended up being a little bit too slow.
Did you? Did you just like miscount the last turn? Because like I thought that. I'm trying to remember. I just remember thinking like I thought you could survive at 1 and then you didn't. But I can't remember what happened because I didn't take notes this time because it's early. I didn't feel like writing anything down.
And it's been a long while, so it's hard to remember because
I didn't think game 2 was going to take 40 minutes and then I'd forget everything.
I mean, we have the recording. We can look back on it later, but I want to say it was something with just like the damage ended up working out to be exact or overkill, or it was just I had no option in my hand. There was some reason why I was sitting there, and I was just like, I know I'm not going to be able to do anything about this.
I think I remember. So I think you could have. So I think what happened was you were able to get Lux Cannon into 3 counters. This is sort of vague. I don't remember exactly what the situation was. Okay, Scott wants to start playing, so I'm just gonna say I think if you had like played the Mirror Turbine and used the Clock of Omens on the Mirror Turbine, you could have like chumped enough to get to 1. But I think Hunter had Dismember in hand anyway, and it didn't matter.
Yeah, did he?
I think that's what happened.
Did you take out Dismember then, or because I didn't see it in any of the other games?
Yeah, I took it out because you don't have a lot of creatures.
What are you talking about? I had a bunch of creatures.
I mean, I guess it kills Pentavus sometimes.
Hey. All right. Well, I guess let's stop there because Scott has time constraints.
Well, it sounds like you're going to have to stop for 15 minutes at some point.
That is true. We could always resume this conversation.
I was going to say, we'd always just wait until he gets back from the 15 minutes as well.
Okay. That sounds like... Yeah, he said he'd prefer to start now, so... I'll make a game then. And start a different recording.
I'm really curious as to what Hunter boarded.
What I boarded?
Yeah, like, what'd you board out? What'd you board in?
Oh, do I remember that?
You don't have it up still?
I brought in... Oh, yeah, I guess I do. For the second game. All right, I brought in Emissary of Despair, Hex Parasite, and Praetor's Grasp. For sure. And then game 2, I had also Tel'Jal Chosen. And then I swapped that game 3 for Silvark Replica.
Yeah, doesn't sound bad. I swapped out Vidalcan Infuser, Etch Champion, Contagion Clasp, and an Inexorable Tide. I didn't actually do any playtesting after switching around between the second and third game. I think having the Inexorable Tide, the Contagion Clasp, and the Vidalcan Infuser just slows the deck down a lot more. I could be wrong. But I swapped in Tempered Steel, Pentavus, Sculpting Steel came in game 3, Shrine of Little Legions. I think I brought in game 3. What did I have game 2? I might be wrong about that. I think I might have just ported those in as well.
All right, I'm gonna go join a call with Scott. If you guys want to like talk about this and record my game, then you can. I've been sort of paying attention.
All right. Good
Okay.
luck.
Yep, we'll talk to you soon.